Good morning, Stonk America. I'm Rocky Outcrop. Welcome back to your morning financial show. Starting the day off right with the right people around you. I'm a trader myself. Today, I will be executing live trades in the market, which actually determine my own future. So you're in the right place. It's good to see you all. We have been doing this show now for quite some time, so if you are just joining us, then you're jumping on to a moving wagon, and it's a fantastic place to be. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and come back again for more. It's good to see everybody out there in the crowd, and we'll be doing all the usual stuff. And I thought today's show I would start off by talking about a few things that I've kind of learned along the way here, and that would be a cool way to talk about start the show. Then we'll also be talking about the pre-market prices of our favorite stocks on the New York Stock Exchange. We'll be taking requests from people as ever who have got interests in particular stocks. So it'll be good to see what they're looking for, won't it, as we do our morning show. And today we've also got a new segment where we can watch and review each other's technical analysis. So I've got a few clips that have been submitted by very courageous people from the community who are willing to have their technical analysis reviewed. And it's actually quite inspiring for everybody watching along to know that you can do this too. D Harker, thank you so much. That's fantastic. Check that out in a minute. So yeah, so it's very inspiring to all of you to see that happen with other people, and I hope that it encourages you to take part as well. A lot of people in the Discord talking about how they'd be nervous to do that. I'm trying to remind people that, of course, this is your dojo and that you make the rules. You know, if you feel like you're going to be nervous about it, then you're making the rule that people would be nervous about it. Instead, I would encourage you to make a new rule, which is that you wouldn't be nervous about it and that you would do it and be confident and know that you're among friends, because then people will see that you do it, you are confident, and you are among friends. So that would be my mode of encouragement for you. Lots of stuff to look forward to, but let's just start off for a couple of seconds and talk about something, for instance, that I've learned as we kind of let everybody roll in here and start their morning off. Have you got a cup of tea? Have you got a cup of coffee? It's tea time with Rocky. No tea, that's fine. Have coffee after all. So some of the things that I've learned here with the sort of so-called ape movement, I thought I would chat about that for a wee while, because a lot of people out there would consider themselves to be apes. Now, not everybody. So if you're wondering what I'm talking about, I'll just introduce that real quick. There's this kind of movement, you could call it, happening in the retail trading world, where a lot of people are identifying as being a part of a community or a cohort, and it's really fantastic. And now a lot of them are calling themselves apes, and they're quite disparaging about themselves. Not necessarily the most confident crowd out there when it comes to their own sort of knowledge. Hence the word apes and use of jokes like crayons, etc., to talk about what they're doing when they're drawing on charts. It's quite fun. It's tongue in cheek and it's quality. Now, I've learned to an extent that there is a fun element to technical analysis, which can be kind of juvenile and taking the piss. It's good. Like, I've always done it. I mean, I've always done it myself. I think that it's the sort of thing that we're seeing in the ape movement is kind of natural. But it's fun, right? It's fun. It's good to remember that it's fun. Proactively remember that you can have fun and do this, and proactively remember that you are a participant just as much as anybody else. And that's one of the big things about the ape thing, is that while it can be a little bit kind of disparaging, that actually, it's a massive beacon, I think, a hopeful beacon to people out there to know that anybody can do this. So one of the things I talk about in the show quite a lot is how I believe in you, because I do. And I've seen it just time and time and time again, that just believing in people has the biggest impact that you can have in them. It's not just saying you believe in people, it's proactively doing it. That's why we're having this section later on in the show with people submitting their own TA, for example. It's proactive. It's a thing. It's a real thing. So yeah, all of that together, just it's a wonderful community of people out there that do that sort of thing. But it's also something that the ape community hasn't quite learned so much about themselves yet, is that they're not alone. Now, one of the biggest advantages of this sort of ape community is the teaching. that there is a community of people out there who are fairly like-minded to yourself, that you know that you're not alone when you're trading if you feel like you're part of this ape community. But the ape community itself thinks it's kind of an us v them situation, when that couldn't be farther from the truth. Retail traders have always had a big impact in markets, and it's always been a self-determined, emancipatory activity to take part in markets. And we've seen that happen over the last decade now with cryptocurrency, and just the whole cryptocurrency thing. For so long, not only did cryptocurrency traders get told that, what they were doing was nonsense, it was never going to work, etc., but also like kind of pushed aside as if they were sort of morons or crazy, or just just that they didn't have a clue, by what sort of the hubris engulfed traditional world. And that's kind of similar to what's going on with the ape movement as well. So anyway, just a quick shout out to all of the people who consider themselves to be exclusively apes and apes alone in a world which is them v us, that this is actually an inclusive movement. And the final thing that I would talk about, which is not something that I've learned through the ape movement, but it's indeed something that I've noticed time and time again through life, and this is one of the huge things about the ape movement, in my opinion, that doesn't get a lot of talk time. I mean, I don't think anybody's ever said this ever, that we're also incredibly positive, empowered,